Okay, guys. This lesson today is not my favorite, and it's kind of ridiculous. So I need you to bear with me on this one, okay? There are many lessons that we have throughout this unit that it's teaching you how to do it one way, one time. And then you'll really not do it like that again. Like, are you ever going to use those boxes again when you're adding or subtracting? No. But do you understand how numbers can be divided into separate parts to make a whole? Yes. So that activity was important because it helps us understand breaking apart numbers and how eventually that leads to doing it in our head. So this is sort of one of those lessons with multiplication in using mental math. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you how the book wants you to do it, and then I'm going to show you how I want you to do it. The only reason I'm showing you how the book wants you to do it is that there are going to be some questions about it on your test. Actually, I think there's only one. But I will give you my reasoning on this after I show it to you. Okay? So here's what the book is showing. From mental math to multiply. Basically, if I'm giving something like 3 times 18, I am not a math genius. I do not have a math brain. So I do not see the answer appear in the sky. Some people do. But when I look at this, I do not know the answer right away. So the book teaches us something called compensation, which means we're manipulating, we're changing the numbers to make them easier. In this case, it's saying, well, 3 times 18 is kind of tricky. But what if I rounded 18 up and I turned it into 3 times 20? Well, 3 times 20, all I'm doing is 3 times 2. That's 6. Add on my 0, 60. But that's not what it asked me to answer. It asked me to answer 3 times 18. So now I have to take out what I added back in. To get from 3 times 18 to 3 times 20, what did I do? What did I do? I did not do plus 2. That's where it's tricky. I did not do plus 2. I did plus 3 times 2.
What?
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. Because 3 times 2 doesn't make sense. 30.
Just watch, guys. Just watch. I told you to bear with me here. I did 3 times 2. What is 3 times 2? 6. So now it wants me to go, okay, well, I need to take 6 out of 60. 60 minus 6 is 54. And 54 minus 6 is 60.
54 plus 6.
Sorry, 54 plus 6 is 60. But what it's asking me to do here, if I'm having to round up and I have to add in some numbers to make it easier to multiply in my head, I have to go back and take those numbers out. Now for me, that's confusing.
Yes.
But what you will see on the test is they will say, some person had to solve 3 times 18. They decided to compensate, and they did 3 times 20 equals 60. How much did they add to get to the correct answer? Or how much did they subtract to get to the correct answer?
Oh.
So, and it's going to give you 2 as an option, but we know the actual answer is 6. Or they'll say, so-and-so needed to solve 3 times 18. They started by doing 3 times 20. What do they need to do next to get the correct answer? Well, they need to do 60 minus 6. I know this is weird and confusing. So here, let me show you one more time. Let me show you one more time, and then I'm going to show you how I want you to do it forever. Okay?
Okay.
And I will let you know exactly which question it is on the test that is going to be like this, okay? I've already found it. I've already marked it. I've already written notes on it for you.
Okay.
So let's say I have 4 times 27. It wants me to do 4 times 27. I need to round it up to make it easier to do in my head. So I'm going to turn it into 4 times 30. To get to 4 times 30, what did I add? I added 4 times 3. Because 7 plus 3 gives me 10. Well, what is 4 times 3? 12. And 4 times 30 is 120. And 4 times 3 is 12. So for me to figure out what 4 times 27 is, all I have to do is 120 minus 12.
Oh.
Okay, 120 minus 12. Well, let me take it bit by bit. 120 minus 10 becomes 110. 110 minus 2 becomes 108. So 4 times 27 is 108.
Wow. That's big. Wow.
So here's a little rhyme that can help you remember. If you have to round up, you add back. If I'm rounding it up, I'm adding it on, and then oops, no. I'm getting it, if you're rounding up, you have to subtract. If you're rounding down, you have to add it back.
Can we do,
Okay?
Can we do one where we have to round it down?
Now, okay, when we come to rounding down, here's where all of your little light bulbs are going to go off. Okay? So what if I have 4 times 33? I'm going to round that down to 30, right?
Yep.
So that will become 4 times 30. Well, what did I take out to round it down? How much did I take out? 3. So 4 times 3. So 33 minus 3 got me 30, right? Guys, what is this method here called? Do we recognize this? This is the break apart. This is what we just did on Friday. Maybe I should rewrite this for you in a different way. What if I did it this way? That look familiar?
Yes.
Yes. This is the exact same thing it's asking you to do. When you're rounding down, you're just adding, you're just breaking it apart by the place value and you're adding it back in. That's it. Well, we just did a whole lesson on this. I know how to do this. 4 times 3 is 12. Add my 0 becomes 420. 4 times 3 is 12. 120 plus 12, well, 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus nothing is 1. 132. There we go. I know how to do this. So, now it's time for my way. When I look at this, all I see is another way to confuse me. Now, do I need to understand how this works? Yes, I do. I need to understand that numbers can be manipulated and redistributed and moved around so that I can have an easier time to do it. If I'm asked a question about it, I need to be able to go, oh, I see. Okay, so I just had to figure out that the 3 times 2, it wasn't just 2, it was a 3 times 2. And then I can figure it out. If I'm just being asked to solve 3 times 18, guess how I'm going to do it? I'm going to do it like this. How is this any less easy than the other way? In fact, I feel like this is easier. 3 times 10 is 30. What's 3 times 8?
24.
Okay, add that up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 54. There we go. So guess what? Just do the break apart method. Just do the break apart method. Because really, half the time you'll be doing it the right way anyway. Because for compensation, when you're dealing with rounding up or rounding down, when you're changing the 33 and you're making it go down, you're breaking it apart like normal. It's only when you would make it more than it was. That's when it's going to be a little bit different. But just don't worry about that, okay? So again, there is literally one question on the test about this. I will point it out to you. I will show you exactly what it is going to ask you to do. Stop playing with her bins, please. And I will show you how to approach it, okay? If anything, solve it the way you know how to solve it, and then look at the answer they gave you and figure out the difference there. Okay? That's all you have to do.
Okay.
The reason I show you all these different ways to do something is so that you can pick and choose what works best for you. Everybody's brain works differently. When you find a strategy that works, stick to it, dude. Do you still need to pay attention to my new strategies? Absolutely. Are you going to be tested on them? Absolutely. But when it comes to just doing a lot one after another, like when we come to this stuff, okay, that's a lot. Look at all that. That's a lot to do. But guess what? You're going to be able to do it normal. If I were doing this, all I would do is, okay, well, 5 times 32. I'm not going to use compensation. I'm just going to break it apart. 5 times 32, I'm going to make that 5 times 30 and 5 times 2. Do I have to write down all the problems? No. Here's how I would do this. What's 5 times 30? What's 5 times 3?
15. So 100.
Add my 0. What's 5 times 2?
10.
Okay. 0 plus 0, 0. 5 plus 1, 6. 1 plus nothing, 1. There we go.
116.
195 times 5, okay. What's 5 times 100?
500.
Okay. What's 5 times 90? What's 5 times 9? 45. 5 times 90 is 450. And then 5 times 5? 25. Not 5 plus 5, 5 times 5. Now I add it up. 0 plus 0 and 5. 5. 0, 5 and 2, 7. 5 and 4, 9. Ta-da! That's it. Just break it apart. Just break it apart, okay? Found a typo, pointing that out. This one right here, 7 members of the swim team decide to buy jackets. How much do they spend in all? Might help if you knew how much the jackets cost. The jackets are $113 each. So it's $113 a jacket. Okay? So I don't want you panicking about this. I want you knowing that it is sort of a weird, tricky concept, and I'm acknowledging that. And that I will make sure you are fully prepared when you see that question on the test. Okay? In fact, if you look at your practice test, you don't have to flip, just look on the screen. Look right here. So it says, Mr. Grosso drove 54 miles an hour for 3 hours. He used compensation to find how far he drove. First, he multiplied 50 times 3. What should Mr. Grosso do next? Okay, so what I do is I go, okay, 54 times 3. That's what I need to know. And then I put down what he said. He said 50 times 3 is 150. So when I write it out, 54 times 3 to get to 50 times 3, that means I took that 4 out. 4 times 3. The 54 turned into a 50. And I got there by taking out the 4 times 3. And remember, you can't just take out one part. It's as a multiplication sentence. And that equals 12. So in order to find from here, I have to add back that 4. So I did 150 plus 12. So that was my answer. So that's the type of question it's showing you, okay? I know it's overwhelming. I can see some deer in the headlight panicked looks. It's okay. I will help you through this, okay? But you know how to do the break apart, and that's what I want you to do, okay? Okay. So I need to see some of these furrowed brows to disappear. All right, there they go.